ever wake up in that dream you just had, it like sticks with you.
Yeah.
Like what was real and what wasn't.
Yeah, you question reality for a bit, right?
It's like, whoa.
Absolutely, yeah. The lines between the inner world and the external reality thin a little bit, and
This is a weird feeling.
yeah, it can be.
So that's kind of where we're headed today. A listener sent us some stuff, and we are going to call this listener the learner. And the learner sent us some excerpts from a story called Texto Colado, specifically chapter 4, O Primero Sonho.
The first dream.
Yeah, in English.
Interesting.
So we've got this kind of fictional account, right? But it's hitting on this idea of what happens when something unbelievable starts to feel real.
Right, and you start to question your sanity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, learner, your mission today is to join us as we go through this chapter and try to unpack what's going on with the character Tom and what it might tell us about how we experience reality and the things that we don't quite understand yet.
Okay, let's do it.
So, just this one chapter where he has this really strange initial dream, and we see him sort of come back to waking life. And it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Let's unpack it.
Yeah.
So, right away, even before we get to the dream part, something feels off about Tom.
Uh-huh.
And his friend Tiana, she notices she says he's got this vague look about him after school, and it's more than just, I don't know, being a teenager, right?
Right.
There's something else there.
Yeah, he seems a little disoriented, like not quite there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just her. His mom picks up on it, too, and says that he seems pra baixo, which means feeling down or low.
Right.
So even those closest to him feel like something is not right.
Yeah, they say a sense that something's off, that he's just not himself.
Makes you wonder, right, learner? How often do people close to you pick up on stuff like that maybe you don't even notice about yourself?
Yeah.
But what I find really interesting is how Tiana tries to explain it away.
Yeah.
She blames it on the breakup with Mandy. It's so human, right, to want to make sense of things in a normal way and just avoid the weird stuff.
Exactly. We try to find a rational explanation that fits into our understanding of the world.
Because the alternative here is pretty out there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tom, he goes through dinner. He can't even enjoy his mom's cooking.
Yeah.
Then he's exhausted, so he goes to bed before 8, which is weird for a teenager, right?
Uh-huh. Like his body is just shutting down, like it's overloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which takes us right into the dream.
The dream.
This super vivid dream. So it's a countryside house, sort of familiar, but also really strange.
Okay.
A purple sky, a ringed planet taking up a ton of space on the horizon.
Oh,
The plants are brown and red, not like anything you'd see here.
right.
Even a simple wooden table and chair, they have this weird smoothness.
Like unnaturally smooth.
Yeah, it's like recognizable, but also totally wrong.
Right.
And then out of this already bizarre landscape comes another Tom.
Another Tom.
Not just a mirror image, though. This other Tom, he's got this different energy about him, described as an imposing demeanor that the original Tom says he just doesn't have.
Interesting.
Like it's another consciousness, maybe even?
Yeah, like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
But different.
And right away, other Tom, he drops some knowledge bombs.
Oh,
Blames he's not exactly Tom, that he lived in this weird place centuries ago, and this is like his last memory before going to some kind of academy.
okay, so right away.
Yeah. What do you think, learner, if someone said that to you in a dream, would you believe it or just dismiss it as crazy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah, it is. And then he says he's a mage or feticero.
Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom obviously doesn't believe him at first.
Sure.
But then other Tom, he points out a key difference.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
That Tom's world, it wasn't blessed with the divinity.
So in his world, there's like a god or gods.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like a big deal. Like in other Tom's reality, divine influence is just part of life.
Right.
But not for Tom.
Interesting. So they're fundamentally different somehow.
Yeah, it makes you think how a belief in a higher power or a lack of belief, I guess, could shape a whole world.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then other Tom, he says he's the reason Tom's been having those apagoins, those blackouts.
He's responsible.
Yeah, but then he drops the real bomb.
What's that?
He says, Tom, you are not 100% you. For now you are, but little by little you will cease to be.
Whoa. That's
It's a lot.
That's intense.
Yeah, it's not just a dream anymore, right? It's like an existential threat.
Totally. Like your very identity is being challenged.
Yeah, and the explanation is reincarnation, but with a twist.
Okay.
It's not a past life influencing him. It's other Tom's consciousness actually inside his mind, sharing his body.
It's like a merging of two selves.
Yeah, and Tom's like, some chance. No way.
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't be freaked out by that?
It's like a violation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Another Tom, matter of fact, he says Tom's only alive because of him.
Wow, so Tom's totally dependent on this other consciousness.
Yeah, and those blackouts, they were other Tom protecting him.
Oh, so like Tom's body is too weak for magic.
That's what he says, yeah.
Wow.
And then he tells Tom to ask his parents about almost dying as a child.
Interesting.
Like there's something they don't know about his past.
Yeah, some hidden trauma, maybe.
Yeah, and then bam, Tom can't talk anymore.
He's silenced.
Like he has zero control.
It's creepy.
Other Tom, he's sending him to a special place with instructions from a talking statue.
A talking statue.
Yeah, and he says, try not to die. So pretty high stakes.
Oh.
And just like that, Tom's surrounded by golden light, and poof, he's somewhere else.
Okay.
It's a big brick room, strange furniture, a huge four-armed statue with a weird face, but the key thing is it feels real to Tom.
So, not like a dream anymore.
No, this is something different. And then he realizes he's not in his own body anymore.
He's what? In the statue's body?
Yeah, he's got 4 arms now, and he's naked.
Naked what?
Yeah, and he's trying to figure out how to put clothes on with 4 arms, which is pretty funny to imagine.
Oh, man. That's got to be awkward.
And then the statue speaks.
It talks?
It asks him about originally having only 2 arms. Like, it knows he's different.
Okay, so the transformation is real.
Yeah, and then poof, 2 of the arms just fall off.
Oh, just like that.
Yep, clatter of wood. That's how it's described.
So creepy.
Right. And the statue introduces herself as Kar, the spirit of Kar.
Okay.
And she's his guardian in this plane of existence, she says.
His guardian.
She asks him what divinity blesses his people, and Tom's like, I don't know.
So again, that difference between their worlds.
Yeah, and she thinks it's really strange that his people don't have a god.
Right.
She calls it peculiar.
Like a bad thing almost.
Yeah, like a disadvantage.
Interesting.
So Kar explains that Tom is in a golem created by her master.
A golem?
Yeah, it's like a magical projection of his consciousness while his real body is still unconscious back in his world.
Okay, so he's in 2 places at once.
Yeah, but she says the golem is as real as his bed back home, so if he gets hurt here, he'll feel it for real.
So the stakes are high.
Yeah, and if the golem gets destroyed, it's like dying.
That's intense.
The point of all this is for him to learn about magic in the city of Bushkar.
Okay.
But Kar says he doesn't really need to learn it because Tom already knows it.
So what's the point?
It's about his body adapting to magic for when they eventually merge, she says.
Oh,
like become one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she says, much of what you do here is reflected in your original body.
So they're connected somehow.
Yeah, it's all very strange, and Tom's obviously not happy about it.
Right.
He's stuck.
So what happens next?
So Kar, she gives him a backpack, a canteen, and a notebook filled with writing he can't read.
Okay.
And tells him to go explore Bushkar, and the golem will go back to its master when time's up.
So he gets to explore this new world.
Yeah, but only for a limited time.
Right.
So he starts walking, and there's this rough brick staircase, phosphorescent lamps, a little chapel with another statue and offerings.
Sounds kind of spooky.
Yeah, a little bit. And then he comes out into the open air and sees these trees and flowers with yellow leaves.
Yellow leaves. That's unusual.
And that big ringed planet, it's always in the sky.
Wow.
Yeah, and he sees the city of Bushkar in the distance, this big sprawling metropolis.
A whole new world.
Yeah, and on his way there, he passes farms, but the plants and animals are all weird.
Like alien?
Yeah, definitely alien.
So he gets to the city.
Yeah, he just kind of walks right in, and there are tons of people all going towards the center of the city.
Oh, like a parade or something?
Yeah, it feels like a celebration, and
Yeah.
the streets are decorated with banners and strange glowing flowers.
Interesting.
And he goes up to a higher spot and sees this incredible view of Bushkar, these
Yeah.
huge elaborate buildings, things flying through the air like kites, and a massive ornate cannon right in the middle of it all.
A cannon.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What is that for?
We'll find out, but it's definitely important.
Okay.
So he's taking it all in, and this local guy comes up to him, Trad Zainal, and he just comments on the view.
Like small talk.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they try to shake hands, but Tom's missing 2 arms, remember, so it's
Mhm.
awkward. Trad Zainal's really polite about it, though.
That's nice.
Yeah, and he asks about Tom's name and why it doesn't have a divine blessing.
Again with the blessings.
Yeah, it's a big deal to them.
Right.
And then Trad Zainal explains that the city's getting ready to send a diplomatic mission to Jantir.
The ringed planet.
Yep, that's why everyone's so excited.
Makes sense.
And Trad Zainal invites Tom to the festival with him.
So Tom has a guide now.
Yeah, which is good because he'd be totally lost otherwise.
Probably.
So they walk through the main district, and it's decorated with statues, fountains, and there are all these market stalls with strange food.
What kind of food?
I don't know, the story doesn't say, but it mentions exotic aromas.
Oh, I bet it smells amazing.
Probably, yeah.
So Tom is fitting in.
Well, he's trying, but people keep staring at him because of the missing arms.
Oh, yeah, right.
But Tratzanel is really cool. He buys Tom this caramelized treat.
That's nice of him.
Yeah, and then he says something that catches them both off guard.
What's that?
He tells Tom he's beautiful. Yeah, it's like a little awkward flirtation.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then suddenly there's this really bright light.
What's happening?
Tratzanel pulls Tom aside, and they see this deity car descending from the sky to bless the cannon.
The cannon is being blessed by a god.
Yeah, and she sprinkles golden dust on the crowd.
Wow.
And Tom, he feels this intense warmth and euphoria.
Like the blessing is affecting him too?
Yeah, and the golden dust, it feels amazing to him.
Wow, so he's experiencing the divine firsthand.
Yeah, it's a powerful moment.
Yeah,
Tratzanel is super excited about it.
of course.
But Tom, he's conflicted.
Oh, how come?
He enjoys the feeling, but it's also like it's not his own feeling.
Like forced euphoria.
Yeah, and then the cannon fires, launching the diplomats towards Jantir.
Wow, that must be loud.
Yeah, Tratzanel covers Tom's ears.
That's considerate.
And as the sound fades, Tom feels like his time's running out, like when an alarm clock goes off.
So the dream's ending.
Yeah. He says goodbye to Tratzanel and admits that he doesn't know any magic.
Oh, right. He's from a world without magic.
Yeah, and Tratzanel is like, wait, I can teach you something quick.
Really?
Yeah, a simple sending spell.
What's that?
He tells Tom to imagine a line connecting their hands, and then he says this incantation.
Okay.
And Tom, he concentrates and feels this tingling sensation like magic.
And does it work?
Well, Tratzanel is suddenly startled and says he saw a vision of Tom back in his world holding his hand.
Whoa.
So yeah, it worked.
That's incredible.
And then Tom wakes up in his bed.
Back to reality.
Back to reality.
Yeah.
The sun's shining, and he's so relieved to have his own body back with only 2 arms.
I bet.
But something's different.
What do you mean?
His mom, she notices it right away.
She can tell something's changed.
Yeah, like he's not the same Tom.
Interesting.
And then Tom asks his mom this weird question.
What's that?
He wants to know if he almost died as a child.
Oh, right. The other Tom told him to ask.
Yeah, and his mom, she's surprised, but she tells him that he was a miracle baby born after Tiana.
A miracle baby.
Yeah, and his dad confirms it too.
So there is something there.
Yeah, some mystery about his birth.
And it connects back to what the other Tom said.
Exactly.
Wow.
So now Tom has even more questions.
Like what?
Who is this other Tom? What's this bush car all about? How will their minds merging change him? And most importantly, what is this danger that they keep sensing?
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, and even his friend Rafa notices that something's different about him.
So the changes are real.
Yeah, it's not just in his head.
Okay.
And then there's this weird encounter with Mandy, his ex-girlfriend.
What happened?
She comes up to him and offers support and wants to be friends.
Even though they broke up.
Yeah, it's totally out of character. Both Tom and Rafa are surprised.
That is weird.
And the story says that Tom seemed to have this aura around him that people were picking up on.
Like a vibe?
Yeah, and Mandy, she feels compelled to help him even though she doesn't know why.
So maybe Tom's trip to the other world changed him somehow.
Yeah, maybe the magic is rubbing off on him.
Interesting.
So later on, Tom tells Rafa and Susie about the dream.
What do they think?
They listen really intently because they've had weird experiences too.
So they're open to it.
Yeah, but then the school bell rings and they have to go to class.
Okay.
But even in gym class, Tom's different. He runs with Rafa and doesn't even get tired.
So he's got more stamina.
Yeah, and Rafa sees this weird golden shimmer on Tom's arm, but it disappears quickly.
Like a trace of the magic.
Yeah, maybe. And then Tom notices that his mind is clearer. He understands his schoolwork better.
Oh, so maybe there's some benefits to this whole thing.
Yeah, maybe, but there are risks too.
Oh, how come?
Well, he tries to use the sending spell he learned to connect with Susie.
To talk to her telepathically.
Yeah, but it backfires.
What happened?
He feels this intense pressure, and then he gets cuts on his fingers.
Ouch.
Yeah, and Susie, she freaks out.
What does she say?
She says she heard his voice in her head and felt really weird.
Oh, wow. So the spell worked, but not in a good way.
Yeah, it was too much for her.
Yeah.
And even people who don't know about the dream, they're noticing a change in Tom. Like April, she thinks he's just more confident because he's hanging out with Mandy again.
She has no idea what's really going on.
Nope. And then there's this ominous line at the end about Mandy being watched.
By who?
We don't know.
Spooky.
Yeah. So, learner, what do you think?
Yeah.
We've got this whole other world, bushcar magic deities, this other Tom sharing Tom's mind, a possible danger lurking in the shadows.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. So, how would you react to all this if you were Tom? If your dreams were suddenly real and you were merging with another consciousness?
Yeah, it makes you question everything.
Totally.
And what if the dreams we have are more than just dreams?
What if they're connected to something bigger, something we don't understand yet?
What if they're another reality bleeding into ours?
That's a thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it really makes you think.
So keep that in mind, learner, as you go about your day. What if there's more to reality than meets the eye?
What if we're all connected in ways we don't even realize?
What if?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Bye.